10 Forgotten Megalithic Mysteries. No, not Stonehenge. Before we set foot on the first stone, quick challenge for you. If you already know 5 or more of the 10 sites we'll visit tonight, type Old Soul in the comments right now. If at any point you discover a site you've never heard of, tap like to boost this beyond the usual algorithm bubble. And if ancient mysteries are your thing, hit subscribe and ring the bell. I post deep dives and viewer theory tests every week. Deal? Let's walk. Close your eyes and picture a wide Moroccan sky, a heat haze horizon, and a vast ring of upright stones called Msoura. Not the postcard celebrity of Europe, but a circle with its own stubborn charisma. Stand at the center with me for a second, breathe in, slow, and turn. The shadows stretch like clock hands across the dust, and the stones seem to lean in, as if they've been waiting for your question. Was this a royal marker? A calendar? A place to pull the heavens down into human time? In the comments, pick a lane with one word, tomb or sky. Bonus points if you add a single detail from this scene that swayed you: is shadow, horizon, height, spacing. I'm pinning the most convincing one-line argument. And quick engagement nudge: if Msoura is new to you, hit like so I know this series is bringing fresh finds to your screen. Hop with me to a windswept basalt plateau in the Golan Heights. From ground level it's rubble, from above it's geometry, Rujm el-Hiri, a bullseye of stone spirals with a mound at the heart. Walk the rings in your mind. Footfalls on rough rock. Wind as percussion. You're not sure if you're marching toward a ceremony or decoding a star chart. Some people say fortress, some say calendar, some say a funerary complex whose architects understood the sky like a second language. I want your take in 3 words: bullseye equals underscore or underscore underscore. Fill in the blanks with your best guess. I'll tally the most popular interpretations and post a community poll tomorrow, so subscribe if you want to see where the audience lands. If this kind of measured skepticism, Steelman both sides, don't sensationalize, feels rare and worth supporting, a like right now genuinely helps. Drop south into Ethiopia where the Tiya steely rise like a small forest of punctuation marks. These pillars wear carvings, blades, lines, symbols that look like shorthand for stories we were never taught to read. Run your fingertips along a groove in your imagination and feel the decision in every cut. Is this inventory of victories? Names of the honored? Warnings? If the stones could pronounce one word clearly, what would it be? Remember, honor, warn, or's home. Put that single word in the comments. And if you've ever visited carved stele near you, anywhere in the world, drop the country name. I'm mapping viewer-suggested sites for a future episode where your photos make the cut. We slip over to Kenya now, Namoratunga, where basalt pillars scatter across the ground like a haltered dance. Random at noon, meaningful at dawn or dusk. Some researchers see alignments echoing constellations, others see ritual choreography that framed gatherings and stories rather than precise celestial gauges. For you, I'm going to count down from 3. Pick a side and type it fast. 3, 2, 1. Stars Fourth Ceremony. Add no more than 7 words explaining why. Brevity is brilliance. If you learned a new site name by now, that's a perfect moment to tap like. Those small clicks are how this kind of long-form content survives on the platform. Now the Sahara, but long before the dunes marched in. Picture Nabta Playa when lakes mirrored the sky and herders moved in step with seasons, not sandstorms. The stones here gather in a compact circle with alignments that whisper solstices to anyone patient enough to listen. Imagine cattle bells, a low murmur of voices at dusk, and a line of stones clipping the sun's path like notches on a memory stick the size of the horizon. Practicality or prayer? In the comments, cast your vote with one word: tool or sacred. If you vote tool, name one seasonal task it might have guided. If sacred, name the moment you'd hold here, or first rains. Longest night? And because you're part of this experiment, try a tiny field test at home this week. Stand a short stick in a sunny place and mark the shadow at the same time each day. After 7 days, come back and tell me what shape your marks made. We're rebuilding the patient eyes our ancestors lived by. Subscribe if you want more do-it-yourself SkySense challenges sprinkled into these episodes. We swing to Armenia's rolling hills for Karahunj, sometimes called the Stone Symphony. The wind plays this place, the stones are the instrument. Some are pierced with round holes that frame bits of sky, perhaps turning rocks into sightlines, perhaps turning sightlines into ritual. Crouch behind one stone, look through a hole, and feel the night become an instrument you can tune with your body. Here's a creative prompt. If you could design a single hole-aligned site today, what would you choose to frame? Sunset, moonrise, a bright star, or the Milky Way's core? Write one choice plus a location where you'd build it. And if a particular drone shot or moment in this segment made you feel the wind, type wind music so I know the tone is landing for you. We jump continents to an Australian grassland where the stones of Wurdi Youang form a gentle arc that seems to catch the sun as it runs along the edge of the year. No towering monoliths, just careful placement, humility, and time layered into stone. Do alignments need height to be powerful? Vote with tall power or small is strong, and name one monument, ancient or modern, that taught you that lesson. If you chose small is strong, tell me one small personal ritual that calibrates your week. Sunrise tea, evening walk, weekly call. These comments turn this channel into a living archive of practices, and I read them for ideas constantly. If this slower, reflective cadence is your speed, that subscribe button makes sure you won't miss the next field-tested idea. We turn east to Laos and step into the dream logic of the plain of jars, where hundreds of stone vessels dot the hills like punctuation left by a giant author who never returned to finish the sentence. Some jars are shoulder high, some squat, some cracked open like a mouth trying to speak. Storage? Mortuary? Waypoints? Here's a game. You're pitching an episode to a streaming exec who only reads one sentence. Explain the jars in 12 words or less. Put your sentence below. I'll pin the most cinematic and read a few in a short this week. If this is your first time hearing about the jars, tap like so I can see how many new minds this reached today. Now sail with me to Micronesia, to the canal-laced city of Madol, where stacked basalt prisms rise like black ribs from the water. Even on film, it looks impossible. Quarry stones shaped like long hexagonal logs. Move them. Float them. Stack them. Repeat until a city stands where the tide breathes. If you're a logistics nerd, this is your playground. I want your wild estimate. How many person days to lay a single causeway? Put a number plus a two-word method guess. Raft haul, roller team, lever gangs, whatever your brain conjures. Hearts and replies for the boldest guesses. And if you appreciate the way we talk about labor and craft, real people, real effort, give the video a like now. It tells the algorithm this audience values more than mystery music and drone shots. Back to the Americas for a different kind of precision, the Diquis stone spheres of Costa Rica, nearly perfect orbs, some small enough for a shelf, others big enough to be your quiet neighbor in a garden. They feel like punctuation marks a culture decided to scatter in the grass, periods, full stops, reminders to breathe between ideas. Why make so many? Why so round? If you could roll one sphere any direction and it would point toward a meaning, what would it choose? Power, navigation, ceremony, or art for art's sake? Comment sphere, your word. And if you stayed with me through all 10 sites, type I finished so I can find and heart your comment personally. Long-form viewers are the backbone of this channel. Take a breath. We've just traced a loose ring around the planet, and every stop offered at least two honest interpretations, the practical and the poetic. Msoura, perhaps royal, perhaps cosmic. Rujm el-Hiri, fort, calendar, or a spiral path of remembrance. Tiya, inventory or memorial art. Namoratunga, sky map or ritual choreography. Nabta, seasonal tool or lakeside ceremony. Karahunj, observatory or wind instrument for the spirit. Wurdi Youang, marker or ancestral signature. The plain of jars, storage or funerary landscape. Madol, political capital or sacred stage. Diquis spheres, status, navigation, or mathematical meditation. Right now, pick your favorite site and argue both sides in 2 sentences, 1 for, 1 against, like you're debating your own best friend. I'll pin the most balanced take I see in the first 24 hours. If you like the culture of fair play around here, Steelman, never strawman, hit subscribe. Viewers like you make that possible. Let's sit with the itch these places give us. Our brains love answers that close a file. It's a calendar. It's a tomb. It's a fortress. We want to sleep well. But when evidence lets multiple truths share the same space, we grind our teeth a little. That discomfort is a teacher. Quick reflection, name one modern structure that you think will confuse people 3,000 years from now. Stadium? Data center? Roadside shrine? Self-checkout kiosk? Drop your guess and your reason in 1 sentence. I'm especially curious how you think future people will misunderstand us, the way we surely misunderstand the builders of stone. Zoom in. Pick 1 stone from any site and hold it in your mind. See the fracture lines, the smoothness where countless hands slid along the same edge, the tool marks that say somebody decided this. Think about the quarry that didn't have a road, the hauling crews who negotiated with gravity, the overseer who knew to quit for the day before a storm hit, the singer who kept the rhythm while the sled creaked forward, the child who learned to count by chasing the shadow of a pillar. If you've ever made anything that took weeks, woodworking, a garden bed, a song, a thesis, tell me what it was and what it taught you about time. Put made, your thing, and 1 lesson you learned. These stories make the comment section a museum of living craft. Now zoom out again. Languages shift. Trade routes rot. The full names of the stones evaporate. We arrive, centuries later, with cameras, notebooks, and values of our time, prediction, documentation, replication, and we project them like light on ancient rock. The stones reflect us back. When we insist on observatories, we reveal our own love of forecast. When we see only tombs, we reveal our obsession with lineage and power. When we demand certainty, we confess how much open questions make us nervous. If you appreciate that we keep the door cracked open for multiple readings and don't cheapen the mystery with a forced twist, a like right now tells the algorithm you want more of this tone on your homepage. So what do we do with the unknowns we inherit? We could mark them unsolved and move on. Or we could treat each stone like an invitation into practice. You don't need a plane ticket. Step outside tomorrow, watch where the light pools on your wall at the same time you watched it today. Start a tiny, weekly ritual that anchors your calendar to something slower than your notifications. Rearrange a room so it lines up with a view that calms you. Ask an elder to tell you a story twice, a month apart, and notice what changes in the telling. Then come back here and tell us what you noticed. Comment practice your tiny ritual. We'll build a thread of small, stubborn acts of attention, the kind that make meaning even when big answers are scarce. If you ever do get to visit one of these places, Try this without fail. Go quiet. Put your palm on a stone, not ownership, just attention. Watch how the light moves over a groove, and count the breaths it takes for a shadow to cross an edge. Ask a question you don't expect to answer. If that image clicks for you, type shadow breaths. It's my shorthand for what we're doing on this channel, learning to measure time by the movement of questions, not just the movement of clocks. A quick fact or feeling speed round to spark the comments. Which one feels truer to you? Even if you can't prove it, the biggest stones were moved with patient, everyday tools, or the technique we barely use now made it easy. Type everyday tools or lost technique, and then give me a metaphor, like building a cathedral brick by brick, or like a trick with a knot no one ties anymore. I'll read these out loud in a short and credit the best metaphors with a heart. Before we land this thing, let's check in on our deals. If you learned at least one new site tonight, hit like so I can measure how many new doors we opened. If you wrote a comment already, write one more, answer a fellow viewer, add a detail, sharpen a point. The algorithm counts replies like oxygen. And if you want more of this, long walks through neglected wonders with experiments you can do, viewer theories we test, and a comment section treated like a seminar instead of a shouting match, subscribe and ring the bell. It truly helps me aim for quality over clickbait. Last game. Picture the globe with 10 quiet pulses lit up: Morocco, the Golan, Ethiopia, Kenya, the Sahara, Armenia, Australia, Laos, Micronesia, Costa Rica. If you could add an 11th pulse, a megalithic place most people have never heard of, what would you add? Country and site name, please. I build future episodes from this list. If your suggestion becomes a video, I'll shout you out by name in the first minute. And if you made it all the way to this line, type River Stones so I can find you and heart your comment. Long-form legends get VIP treatment here. Thank you for walking, wondering, and arguing in good faith. The stones don't answer quickly, and that's the point. Between sky and ground there's a narrow band where humans stand, and somehow we keep deciding to make meaning that outlasts us. If this episode earned it, like, subscribe, and share it with one person who thinks Stonehenge is the whole story. I'll post a community poll ranking tonight's top 3 sites right after this, plus a pinned comment with sources and further reading so you can explore at your own pace. See you in the next one, and until then, keep your eyes on the light, your hand on the stone, and your questions moving like shadows across the day.